lift off over here that the reason by lulav, it says, even though it's yovesh, the minhag we use a lulav yovesh. Even if you're able to get another lulav, which is moist, we use, if you have a dry lulav, you could use it. Not only that, even say a bracha on it. So the Mishna Berura said, what's the reason? Until now, we're saying the only reason why you take all these species which don't make the grade is only that you should not forget that there's a mitzvah of daled minim. So why did lulav? So he explained, because there are many positions that regarding lulav to be considered a dry lulav, it has to be so dry that it's brittle. It's very rare it ever comes to that. So what we call yovesh is really not yovesh. And so since it's not yovesh, therefore the minhag is even if you get somebody else's lulav, you could say the bracha on that lulav. That's the way the Mishna Berura explained the Rama. Wait, now we didn't get there. We didn't get there yet. We're holding the Zion. Then he said, and others hold the same thing is true even regarding the hadas, because hadassim, for them to dry, the hadas is similar to the lulav. For it to dry out to that point, it take years. Hadas, a rov is dry very quickly, right? But hadassim don't. Afilu b'hadas yovesh degabi neinu motzi lachim. First to find, it's difficult to locate hadassim. Hadassim, our rovs grow all over, willows. Masha enkein habarovs the mitzuis lachin. Ube'esrik will rotzel hokel ledeozo mishum dechsiv dehedju b'tor priyitzodor. He's saying interesting. Regarding the esrog, that it's Torah quantifies as creates hodor, we don't want to be makel there. Unless it's truly hodor, we don't want to be makel. But regarding the others, it's only drawn, it's all on a rabbinic level, that it's only drawn from there. We equate the other meaning to the esrog, therefore we're more lenient regarding the other species. Esrog, it has to be hodor. So therefore it's dried out, under no circumstances would you make a bracha. We're less makbid on hodor, on the others, because the only reason why, what do you need hodor by the daled minim? Hodor only says by, because there's a hekesh where we equate the other species to the esrog, but it doesn't say it explicitly. So on a rabbinic level, which are the subsequent days, so we're more lenient on the hodor for the others if you have no alternative. Okay? But on the esrog where it says explicit hodor, it has to be hodor.
So if 1 out of 4 is fine.
It has not 1 out of 4. The esrog is the primary one of hodor.
So the hodor is great. I mean, the esrog is perfect.
No. We're talking about the others have to make the grade to a degree. Even if it's truly dry, it's no good. You won't say a bracha on it. But over there, if it's semi-moist, although it's not really seen as hodor, it'll pass. The esrog will not pass.
Do you say you can be makel on the hadassim and the lulav and the lulav, but on the esrog you have to be makel?
Exactly. That's what we're saying regarding a bracha. That's what we're saying. Why not?
I just have experience. I mean, I haven't put it away. I have a container, and I put it in. I didn't thought about it. So the sukkahs came. So I took out my container. Obviously, a silver thing, so I just clean and check it. Opened it up. That's road from last year. It was in there. It was fine.
Didn't shrink.
It shriveled a little bit, but it was still yellow, and no other problems. I mean, you could have. I mean,
It's kosher. It's kosher.
Yeah, I didn't want it.
Yeah.
No air. Right, it was pretty much locked.
Many years ago, there was a yeki. Baltimore was a big yeki community. So there was a yeki. Learned in Baltimore, in the yeshiva. He already was a man, older. And he had matzah from the previous year. He had matzah left over. So for yekis to spend money on new matzah, if they have old matzah, you don't buy new matzah. Exactly. So he went to my mashgiach. My mashgiach was the posek in Baltimore at the time. And he says, could he use last year? Maybe there's a matzah yoshan, called the matzah yoshan. You're not yotze. So he says, as long as there are no worms in the matzah, 100% okay. Just make sure it's not wormy. So I'm saying if the esrog is intact, there's no reason to buy another esrog. It's fine. Okay. The Ramo says that you have a right to rely on all these opinions regarding the lulav, regarding the hadas, even if it's dry, even to say a bracha if you have no alternative. Hear this? If they were truly Yaveshim, it says all Dalit. V'yesh b'zeh arba chudukim. Im lo nimtzu be'ir. You know, he speaks about what's considered. There's no, you don't have the availability of the others. What's not available? Im lo nimtzu be'ir lachim rak Yaveshim. Let's say in this community, you only have dry species. You can't locate moist. Ra azay kol arba minim notlim borchim. He says then, when you have no alternative, even all four, including the esrog is dry, you say a bracha. We're speaking the subsequent days. V'im yesh yeveshim gemurim. But we're talking about it's not fully dry. Because we say it has a certain degree of moisture. It's not bone dry. Where we said that if you put your finger to it, it's brittle. If it's brittle at that level, definitely, one would not say a bracha. Not on the lulav and not on the hadas, because that's truly yovish. He says, we have semi-dry, which are fully moist. Vorchem al lachem dafka. If you have an alternative of a moist, lulav, esrog, all of them, and you choose one that's dry, but it's in its reality, it's not fully dry, you're not permitted to say bracha on the other. If you do, you're not even yotze. This is only in a situation where you have no choice. You had certain regions you couldn't find a lulav. Or hadassim, which were absolutely moist. Green, really, truly green. Raka yeveshim, gam yeveshim, any yeveshim gorim. But when we refer to, relatively speaking, they're dry. But in truth, it's not considered really dry. Chanal. Vorchan la yeveshim sheish lo afil lechatchila. Lechatchila you permit it. You have no choice. Kosh savdu lemalo. Mok shlipzu eitz al-acherim lachem gemurim. What about it's not one person in the community has? It's available. Person has such a lulav. Lechatchila yeshlo mishlo v'rach al yeveshim shelo afil yeveshim gemurim. Ubediyevik sheberach yitol od pam halachim sheitz lachem below brocha. You hear the difference. If in the community you have last year's lulav, which is semi-dry, you can buy a new lulav this year. It's available. Why spend the money? You're not permitted to say bracha on your lulav. You have adasim, which are not truly dry, but relatively speaking, they're dry. And you can buy new adasim. You're not permitted to say the bracha. You say bracha, it's bracha levato. You're not yotze on the old. What about in this region you can't find? There's no at all. Nobody has. Lechatchila, you're permitted to say the bracha on what we call dry because it's not truly dry. What about it's not available, but somebody in the community has a moist lulav? B'di'evet, if you say a bracha on your own, you yotze, because it's not available to you. You couldn't have purchased it. However, he says, what's preferable? You should borrow it. I'll borrow it 2nd days. You say the bracha, and then you take your own. B'di'evet, if you did not, you yotze. So what? But nevertheless, you should take his without a bracha, and to be yotze with the one that's truly hodder. First day you're not yotze, period. No, the first, semi-dry, you be yotze. You be yotze. Also yotze. Because it's truly not dry. He did it. We're talking about if he did not. He did not. It's still not a bracha. It's valid bracha. If it's available and you choose not to, it's not even valid bracha. You're not yotze, period. Because evidently they penalize you in that situation. A few is not available. A few is like a few people have it there. That's not called availability. Availability is available to purchase at a normal price. Yep.
Now, somebody who has that, is he required to make it available to the other people because it's there in town? Or can he say, I'm not taking a chance?
Well, if he's concerned that it's going to be invalid, it's going to become puzzled. He's not. Right? In the olden days, they did. Yochel told, I'm Ograb Shehiksha Mahosev Ramo al Divri Amachaber Leil Bsivov, Kuriyak Kosid Mashosev Ramohu, Abishos Kos Bishas Atchach, Sheinimtza kosher yito b'lo brocha. Aval kadlo shemad yimtza akach kosher. Rakata im biyodo. Let's see over here. What's the nun tes? This is nun tes. Yeah. He says all this that we've discussed is regarding brocha. Without a brocha, definitely, you should take whatever you can take. Okay, so he's asking, what is the Mogram, what is the Mechaber adding? What is the Ramo adding to the Mechaber? The Mechaber says that on the subsequent days, even though you have psulim, if you have no choice, you take it. So what's the Ramo concluding? But without a brocha, yocholito kol apsulim v'lo yivorach aleim. I mean, he's just repeating the words in the Mechaber. That's the Mogram's question. I'm Mogram Shediskasha. Mahosef Ramo al Divri Mechaber Leil Sivov. I'm Kuriyak Vishkos Mashahosef Ramohu. The Beis Yosef Kosef Shas Adchak. Shein Nimtza Kosher Yito B'lo Brocha. At a time when a person is pressed, he can't locate a kosher meaning. He takes the dal meaning without a brocha. Avalakat lo shemani Nimtza Akach Kosher. But it is, what happens if afterwards you locate a kosher one? Sha'ata Ein Biyodo. Go Sha'achim Mevorech. Sha'acher Mevorech Halil Belovo HaKosher. V'ticho Sha'ach Ali Yitin Lo. Im Yochol Levorech Leisato Halil Belovo HaPosel. Shlo no Mishikones Laidez L'Sovi Broch Miyitol HaKosher. Shlo Meramo Shlo Brocha Yochol Little Chatchilo. Shezeh Vadi Poselu. Yochol Levorech HaKach HaKosher. Even though it's a little bit difficult what he's saying now. Because we just finished saying that if one person has a kosher esrog and it's not available to others, right? Here he's speaking about something which is truly possible. Truly possible. The Rama says, no, not a lemon. No, it's truly dry, truly dry. He says, nevertheless, you take it, because there it's always to be in touch with the mitzvah. So maybe you would think that you're going to say Halil, you're going to take it now, and then after the person, when he finishes Halil, he'll give you his. But as a result of that, you're putting yourself in a position, you're forfeiting a mitzvah. You're not going to be able to say a bracha now. Since what you did now, you may have been yotzei, so when you're going to take the first quality esrog and lulav, you're not going to be able to say the bracha, because you're already yotzei with this. That the Rama says, no, you definitely can say the bracha. Because what you're doing now is purely zecher. It's only to be in touch with the mitzvah. Is it a mitzvah? It's not a mitzvah. What you're doing. You're doing nothing. It's not. You should not forget that there's such a mitzvah of daled minim, right? That's what we discussed yesterday. So with no, not a suffix, not a suffix. If it's true, no. We have sub-brachas lokil. If something is truly not dry, if you have no alternative, you say a bracha. But if something is truly yavesh, under no circumstance, it's possible. You would not say a bracha. So what do you take if it has no value? That's just to be in touch, not to forget there's such a thing as a mitzvah lulav. So in that situation, if another person has the daled minim, there's nothing wrong with you first. You'll waive with the posel lulav, and then afterwards you take it as not a problem. And then say a bracha, because what you did initially has no value. Its value is purely in the mind. But in the reality, we're yotzei, we're definitely without yotzei. Definitely not. You were yotzei. On the first.
It's not on the specific items. It's to perform
The
the mitzvah.
mitzvah. You
like with wine, there's a second bracha that you can
wine is specific for wine. That's specific for wine. That is no relevance to anything else. No, of course not. First, Tova Meitiv is no different. Tova Meitiv for wine is not. Wait. No, you're mixing it up. As they say, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. Tova Meitiv, which we say on wine, which is not so simple when you do say it, is not the same as a Tova Meitiv regarding when you come upon something special. It says if you purchase a new garment, a new vessel, something which gives you joy, which is unique and special, you say Shechianu. What about if the item that you come upon, it's a shared joy? Meaning, let's say there's a partnership. You say Atov Metiv. For instance, if a person, his wife gives birth to a male, both the father and mother say Atov Metiv. You say Tova Metiv. Why? Because there's a joint simcha, joy. If a person himself purchases something, the wife purchases a dress, something which she doesn't normally buy, she says Shechianu. The husband, he buys something which is special to him, he says Shechianu. They buy a piece of furniture for the house, and it's something very unique. Hatova Metiv. Both the husband and wife both say Hatova Metiv. That's what you say. Hatova Metiv is a whole different concept. Hatova Metiv has to do with Haruge Beitar. It says the Romans did not allow that for 12 years that the body should be buried. And there was a miracle happened. The bodies did not decompose, and the scavengers did not take the bodies. That's what happened. And after the Roman emperor died, they were able to annul the decree and they buried them. So Hatov Hametiv. Hatov, that they didn't decompose. Hametiv, that they allowed them to be buried. So why, so the Mishna Berura says, why did they legislate the bracha there? Because when a person drinks wine, you have to have in mind that if you drink too much, you become tipsy, and you become irresponsible, and it could lead to levity. So by saying Atova Metiv, it reminds you of the tragedy of Beitar. So it puts a certain somber mindset that you should be in control. That's the concept of Tova Metiv by wine. It has nothing to do because it's a special acquisition. It has nothing to do with this. It's a whole different concept. Okay? That's the way they enacted it, to differentiate. When it's shared, it's Tova Metiv. When it's a single benefit, it's Shechianu. Okay, so it's Scotch related. No. So the Mishna Berura explains. Okay. No, it's really based on what it's based on the Gemara. It's based on the Gemara. The Gemara says having a daughter is not the same as having a son for many reasons. At least in the time of the Gemara, you had to worry a lot more about a girl than a boy. God forbid she shouldn't be defiled. You had to find her a husband. There was a dowry. She wasn't financially right. I mean, it's a girl, right? No, the Gemara says. I mean, the Gemara even uses it in Bava Basra. Uses the term "Oy lami sheish labas." Woe to the person who has a daughter. It creates a tremendous level of responsibility for the parents that until she's married, you can't sleep at night. You worry. So what do you say? So it's not Tova Metiv. But what do you say Shechianu? Why do you say Shechianu? So the Mishna Berura says the halacha is if you hadn't seen a good friend in 30 days, somebody's truly a good friend, you say Shechianu. So he says your daughter coming into existence, being born, is it worse than meeting a good friend that you hadn't seen for 30 days? So you say Shechianu. That's the reason why Shechianu. It's not because it's something of that special level of an event. Okay? You say Shechianu. Both the mother says Shechianu and the father says Shechianu. Because he says it's no worse than that. Had a case, somebody who considered himself a good friend of mine called me up, hadn't spoken to him in about a year. And he speaks to me like he just spoke to me yesterday. And how you doing, this, that. This person was a Rosh Yeshiva. So I said to him, I think I have to say Mechayim Esav. Because the Gemara says if you hadn't spoken to a person or seen him in a year, you say Mechayim Esav. 30 days of Shechianu. I said to him in his name, I said, I think I have to say Mechayim Esav now. Here you can say, so my good friend, so why haven't you been touching me for a year? So he was taken aback. And it was like a wake-up call for him. No, But that's when you say Mechayim Mesim. Today, we don't say these brachos. Why? Because since at one time people, if they weren't in touch, there was no communication other than writing. Today, you speak, you could find out, you could ask about a person. And one time, if you were out of touch with a person, it's like the person didn't exist. No, didn't exist. So when you saw him after 12 months, until then, you didn't know whether he was alive or dead. So therefore, coming upon a person after a year, you said the bracha Mechayim Mesim. But today we could ask about people, regards, this, that, I met, I saw. So therefore, since you're aware of the person's existence, it's not that special event when you come upon the person to be able to say the bracha. That's the reason. Same thing.